Unsupported request. Object does not... Oh, wait. Okay. I think we're there. Sorry, we're having trouble playing this video. Ugh. Okay.
It's not live over here yet.
I know. It almost did it that time.
It's AI revenge on all the ministers that were in Minnesota.
It might be, that's true. Live stream. Now it won't even give me Facebook as an option.
Who did you tick off, Susan Caldwell?
Yeah, for real.
Are you logged into your Zoom account?
How about, do y'all want to record the service and then put it up later?
I think we should do the service no matter what.
Yeah. Well, let's record it, because I have an option to record on Zoom.
We'll do it shortly then.
And Steve can let them know online that we'll put it up.
James said he's getting our audio now.
Oh, he's hearing us talking on Facebook? Good morning, y'all. We're working this.
Let me try this again now. I got it now.
Oh, God. Okay. All right.
Mute.
That whole conversation's been on Facebook. Okay.
I think we got it now.
I think we got it now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Make sure it's still there. You're still moving, so I think there's still sound.
Oh, shit.
What happened? I'll wait for the slides start. Once that happens, I'll unmute briefly. Make sure this.
starting now. Good morning. Welcome to All Souls Online. I hope things are working well at your house, power and internet if you need it. And we're glad that you're here, and we're glad that so far, so good. We're, of course, a congregation that is organized around covenant, not creed. That's about how we will treat one another and try to live in the world instead of what we think happens after this or believe necessarily about a lot of ultimate things other than how we live this life matters and how we treat people matters. We probably will have a few announcements here. I'm going to ask our who is it? Our board person or our director that's doing our board president, I think, is going to offer some information.
Yes. Good morning. Can you hear me? Good morning. So, want to make a few announcements. Thank you for coming today. We're very glad that you're here. So, our volunteer of the month is Bob Jordan, and Bob has been very busy at All Souls for many, many years, and we appreciate all that he does. He has a beautiful voice. He's in the choir. He also plays a number of instruments, and he does our St. Patrick's Day party every year with a band. He's on the building and grounds. He does the Highland Blessing dinner. He's been on the board, just an all-around awesome guy. And he also teaches ESL in the community and helps with the immigrants with the LA Aid group. So we love Bob Jordan. Our giveaway the plate this time is the Volunteers for Youth Justice, and that is a group that helps children who are involved in the court system. So they do a lot for the young people in our community, and we're going to help sponsor their fundraiser for the year called Battle of the Gumbo Gladiator. So we'll be providing funds for that this month. So whatever you put into the plate that's not already designated for your pledge will go to Volunteers for Youth Justice. We encourage you to donate. Our meeting next Sunday, right after church, will be our congregational meeting where we'll be voting on our budget and also some other things. So please come to that. And directly following our meeting at All Souls, there's going to be the World Religion Day from 2 to 5 at the Highland Center. And that's where a lot of different church groups come together and share information about their particular denomination or religion. So we really want you to try to come to that too. And I think that's everything. Thank you much.
Does our Director of Lifespan Religious Education want to add anything? Do we still need table hosts?
We will, yes. We will need people to work our table. I'm going to put a Sign Up Genius out for that.
At World Religion Day.
Yes, for people to work our table, our information table at World Religion Day, and that's we talk about Unitarian Universalism. You have literature to hand out, And we also usually provide some kind of snacks. I know Richard Denton in the past has made his famous lavender cookies. So I try to, since he shared that sacred recipe with me, I try to do that. And if other people want to bring some kind of finger foods, we ask to refrain from using any kind of meat or anything like that, but just some kind of vegan or vegetarian snacks is nice to give out to people. And we usually bring coffee too, since that's part of our tradition on Sunday mornings. So anyway, yeah, I think that is all I have for today. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Miss Susan. Um, let's everybody kind of settle into where you are, if you can, and we'll see if this service lasts the whole time we're doing one, if that makes any sense. Um, Spirit of life who draws us together in a web of holy relationships, make your presence known with us, in us, and among us. Remind us that we are not alone now or in history. Ignite in us the courage out of which comes this living tradition. Remind us that we are not alone in entering the future either. Anchor us with patience and perseverance. Remind us that we are not alone in our times of grief, fear, or pain. May our spirit and your spirit, may spirit comfort us and be manifest in human hands and voices. Remind us that we're not alone in our joy or wonder. Inspire us to honor and extend what beauty we find in this world. Divine music of the universe. Let our hearts beat in diverse and harmonious rhythms, cooperating with an everlasting dance of love. May we move with the rhythms of peace. May we move with the rhythms of compassion. May we move with the rhythms of justice. Source of stars and planets and water and land, open our hearts to all of our neighbors. Open our souls to a renewal of faith. Open our hands to join together in the work ahead. So be it. And may I have some help with the first part of our chalice lighting this morning.
We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart. Together with mind, hands, and heart, we care for the earth and for each other.
Thank you very much. We also light this chalice seeking to be made instruments of peace. Where there is indifference, may we bring justice. Where there is selfishness, may we bring equity. Where there is stagnation, may we bring transformation. Where there is homogeneity, homogeneity. How's that? May we bring pluralism. Where there is isolation, may we bring interdependence. Where there is greed, may we bring generosity. Where there is hatred, may we bring love. Make us instruments of real peace and with love at the center of everything we do. If you will, wherever you are, please recite with me the unison affirmation. And if you have open mics, you might want to mute them. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with each other. I'm going to play Spirit of Life, and I invite you to sing with me. Get my fire in a safe place. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Miss Susan? You have to unmute.
It really has been a while since I did this. Oh, I have the spotlight myself, too. Oh, which I cannot do while I'm sharing screen. All right, good morning. We're going to try this again. Many apologies. I've been spoiled by having other people doing this all along. And I'm really appreciative of Jennifer and Kelly, especially. So, this morning, Reverend Barbara has learned some really cool things about starlings, the birds that are in a lot of the pictures in our slides this morning, and how they stay together in those beautiful formations and kind of dance in the air. And since we won't be singing kids out today, I'm hoping if the kids are around at the computer that they'll stick around for that. But right now I want to talk a little bit about humans sticking together. Last week we observed the birthday of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. And in 1965, after a man named Jimmy Lee Jackson was murdered in the small town of Marion, Alabama, Dr. King put out a call to clergy across the nation to come to Selma, Alabama, in protest of that killing and also just of the oppression and voter suppression of black people in Alabama and throughout the South. And we've told the story before that a Unitarian Universalist minister, James Reeb, answered that call and marched with Dr. King, as did a UU mom from Detroit, Viola Liuzzo, and ultimately both of them were killed in Alabama by angry, fearful people. This week, after Renee Good was shot by ICE while trying to look out for her neighbors, clergy in Minneapolis put out their own call to clergy and other religious leaders across the nation, and hundreds of ministers and priests and rabbis and imams, religious educators, and other religious leaders from all over the country from many different traditions answered that call, while many of the rest of us sent our own hearts and our spirits with them. And I just want to show you this quote from the Reverend Ashley Horan, who is Vice President for Programs and Ministries of our Unitarian Universalist Association. She said, "This is our city, and this is how we show up. We have always taken care of each other because we know that the government is not doing that for us." And they sent out a call to Minneapolis saying, Dr. King put out the call in Selma, we're putting out the call in Minneapolis. And for the last 2 days, our friends and colleagues, a lot of them were there. And so they marched, and they also went into neighborhoods to help protect immigrants and U.S. citizens from the violent actions of ICE, helping Minneapolis people to look out for their neighbors. It's a hard time right now, and it feels as if the leaders of our country want us to feel powerless, that's the point. And that's why it's so important that we stick together and that we do what we can to protect our own neighbors, of course, and to reach out to our fellow Unitarian Universalists living with this violence and the threat of it from day to day. And I know that our kids in our class, with their wonderful teachers, Kevin and Noah, and often Miss Susan, who's on with us this morning, I know that y'all are really good at figuring out things to do to make a difference, how you can make a difference in the world. And so this week, I'm encouraging you to write to Unitarian Universalist children, youth, and adults. Just address a card to the children and youth of First Universalist Church of Minneapolis or the First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis. Those addresses are easily available online, or you can just write the cards and bring them to church next week and we'll mail them all together, just to let them know that you are thinking about them and that you are holding them in your hearts. And we'll look for a lot of the different causes in Minneapolis that we might want to donate to. But also, I encourage you to think about maybe doing some kind of a project to raise money for an organization that's very dear to all our hearts, and that, again, Miss Susan works with, and that is Louisiana Advocates for Immigrants in Detention. That people who are working for immigrants, who are working for the people who have come, who have fled really dangerous situations in other countries and really can't go back, they really need our help right now. And so I would encourage you, when you're back together in your class next week, to try and do that. It'll help maybe make our corner of the world a little safer and a little more welcoming for all of our neighbors. So thank you so much, and I'll hand it back to Reverend Barbara.
Thank you, Miss Susan. I have included in this service something that I'm calling a unison reading. It was, I don't know how it's written on the slides, but in the way that I originally found it, it was a responsive reading, but I don't think y'all can, there seems to be a lag between things, so it might be a little glitchy if we tried to do it with two voices. So I'm going to read the whole thing, but if you will read with me where you are and mute yourself when you're not the primary speaker, that will probably help things. Miss Susan.
Okay, it's all right. Go ahead.
Okay. Connections are made slowly. Sometimes they grow underground. You cannot tell always by looking what is happening. More than half a tree is spread out in the soil under our feet. Penetrate quietly as the earthworm that blows no trumpet. Fight persistently as the creeper that brings down the tree. Spread like the squash plant that overruns the garden. Gnaw in the dark and use the sun to make sugar. Weave real connections. Create real nodes. Build real houses. Live a life you can endure. Make love that is loving. Keep tangling and interweaving and taking more in. A thicket and bramble wilderness to the outside, but to us interconnected with rabbit runs and burrows and layers. Live as if you like yourself, and it may happen. Reach out. Keep reaching out. Keep bringing in. This is how we are going to live for a long time. Not always. For every gardener knows that after the digging, after the planting, after the long season of tending and growth, the harvest comes. I have readings for our meditative time. Um, I'll have a moment of silence after that, and if y'all have candles at home that you'd like to light for any concern or celebration, you may want to gather those things during the time of silence and light them. Our readings today come from Gary Kowalski, Jake Morrill, and David Byrne. Maybe prayer doesn't mean talking to God, the divine or holy mystery, at all. Maybe it means just listening, being unplugged from the TV, off the computer, quieting the mental chatter and distractions. Maybe it means listening to the birds and the insects, the wind and the leaves, or the branches without the leaves, the creaking and groaning of the trees under the weight of the ice, noticing who else is and who else isn't there, not far away but close by, sitting so still we can hear our heart beat, watch our breath, the gentle whoosh of air, the funny noises from our own insides, marveling at the body we take so much for granted. Maybe it means listening to the dreams, to our dreams, paying more attention to what we really want from life, and less attention to all the nagging, scolding voices from our past. Or maybe it's all about listening to each other, not thinking ahead to how we can answer or rebut or parry or advise or admonish, but actually being present to each other. Perhaps if we just sit quietly, we'll overhear a piece of whispering through the centuries that's missing from the clamor of this moment. Maybe prayer means listening to the silences between the words, noticing the negative space, the vast, undifferentiated, and nameless wonder that underlies all of it. Maybe prayer doesn't mean talking to God at all, but listening with the heart to the angel choirs all around us, those who have ears, let them hear. Birds that live in the forest floor evolved lower-pitched calls so they don't bounce or become distorted by the ground as higher pitched sounds might. Water birds have calls that unsurprisingly cut through the ambient sounds of water and birds that live in the plains and grasslands. Birds that live in the plains and grasslands, like the savanna sparrow, have buzzing calls that can traverse long distances. And birds of the same species adjust their singing as their habitat changes. Birds in San Francisco were found to have raised the pitch of their songs over 40 years in order to be better heard above the noises of the increased traffic. Just as birds sing differently because we are there, we live differently for the presence of birds. That's not a poetic notion, but an ecological fact. We ask the Holy to lead us into green pastures by still waters where we will know peace and kinship of all souls and spirits, and will at least be about the work of mercy and justice for as long as we live. May we sit together in a moment of peace and quiet to listen. And all the things that cross my mind lead me, and all the things that fill my life lead me. I don't have to understand what's closer than my skin, deeper in my spirit than the breath I'm breathing in. And all the things that cross my mind lead all the things that fill my life lead me. Like Moses up the mountain, Buddha 'neath his tree, like Muhammad at his cave, and Jesus by the sea. And all the We began this school year by studying Unitarian Universalist identity and values. Then we moved on to the Jewish Christian heritage from which this tradition arose. All of these traditions that that were initially called Unitarianism and Universalism, as well as Unitarian Universalism. Now we've moved into the pillar that we call the study of world religions. We know it isn't just the teachings of Jesus of Nazareth that call people to faith, to people of faith, to compassion and caring for neighbors and strangers. It's a part of Buddhism, it's a part of paganism, it's a part of Hinduism and Islam and all kinds of other traditions. They all call us to kindness and compassion. What each understands about the source and spirit of life may be different. What each teaches about what happens after this life is unique to that tradition. Each may even have a different view of what justice is and what part in justice we are supposed to play. But all of them believe that compassion is a significant part of honorable character and a worthwhile aspect of spiritual maturity. We know that we Unitarian Universalists hold pluralism as one of our 6 primary values, with love always at the center. Pluralism is a societal and political concept promoting the peaceful coexistence and mutual respect and active engagement of diverse groups with differing beliefs, cultures, and interests. Recognizing that multiple perspectives strengthen society and contribute to the common good. Moving beyond mere tolerance to collaboration in a democratic framework. Key principles of pluralism include sharing power, valuing diverse viewpoints, building relationships across those differences, and cooperation for shared goals. With applications in politics across multiple power centers and social life with cultural and religious diversity. This week, as a part of an assignment that I was given from a writing workshop that I'm taking part in, we were given the assignment to consider starlings as a topical springboard. I hope you're all familiar with starlings. They're those here they have a lot. Starlings across the world look very different one from another. The ones that we have locally are pretty much black, but they have rainbows in their wings that you can see in the sunlight, and many of them have golden or yellow beaks. But you may notice them this time of year in particular as they line up in mass on wires, the telephone wires and electric wires. Also, they form into swarms that paint the sky and dance around that are called murmurations. A murmuration is a breathtaking natural phenomenon where hundreds or maybe even thousands of starlings fly in tightly coordinated, synchronized, and constantly shifting patterns that all flow like more smoothly than even water seems to flow. They often occur right at dusk time or later in the afternoon, and starling murmurations can last for a few seconds or up to 45 minutes. They can involve a few birds or tens of thousands of birds. I saw a murmuration once that went as far as my eyes could see here in Shreveport. But it was a long time ago. Um, but they may include other species of starlings and not just all that are from the same family. And sometimes they form abstract, dramatic shapes, uh, diving and swirling and morphing into all kinds of things. In Denmark, where murmurations have been estimated to involve millions of starlings, the phenomenon is called the black sun because they black out the sky with being such a dense group. I don't know how to say the sort sol spelling of the Danish word, but that's what it looks like in English, sort sol. Um, the starling teaches that survival is not about being the loudest or the strongest, but about listening, adapting, and knowing when to move together or how to move together. An initial study by an ornithologist named Edmund Selous, back in the late 1800s and early 1900s, sought to explain the murmuration of starlings through the idea of thought transference. But by 2013, physicists in Italy, along with mechanical and aerospace engineers working with Princeton University, determined that no single bird could control a flock, and certainly not the movements of more than 1,000 birds. Researchers used a computer simulation to determine that each bird synchronized with its 7 closest neighbors, creating overlapping groups that communicated their movements. So just having to watch 7 and moving in an adjustment related to those 7 other birds, these 8 bird groups, overlapping groups, like the 7 that are closest to me wouldn't be the 7 that are closest to you. Anyway, so all these groups overlap and they communicate their movements that way, focusing on 3 simple parameters: attraction, repulsion, and angular alignment. So you're putting your focus on your 7 closest neighbors and only including for consideration these 3 aspects of what those 7 neighbors do. Thus the flock moves as each individual bird synchronizes with its nearest group, and researchers also confirmed that a particular shape to a flock formation that may work best is a pancake shape. So if you see these things folding back in on themselves, they're operating in floppy pancakes. um, Thinner, thicker, and spherical shapes did not improve starlings' performance. Rather, optimal performance was related to a floppy pancake. They noted that information moves across the flock very quickly and with nearly no degradation. The way that if we communicate something, that game, what's it called? Telephone, maybe? Where you whisper something in one person's ear and they whisper it to the next person, and by the time you get around a room, whatever you said initially has changed
you're back up there now. That's what it sounds like.
I think Barbara may have.
Lost internet.
Are we on Facebook now?
You're still on Facebook. I see you on Facebook.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
You're texting somebody.
Good morning. Well, as happens when we are in an ice apocalypse, Reverend Barbara's video has dropped off. She has texted me that her point was that if we can learn the lesson to mimic that model of the starlings, for all of society worldwide would function organically and beautifully, which it certainly would. We are going to, I think, have her record that sermon again and share it with you in a recording at a later date. And because I'm not really prepared to lead a hymn today, I think we're going to play our closing music, which is Reach by Lisa Nimzo, and end our service for today. But we will, it's such a cool sermon, it's such a cool concept that we want her to be able to share that with you. So we are going to thank everyone for joining us today. Thank you for your patience as we kind of get back into COVID mode after all this time. And I'm going to let you hear some Lisa Nimzo. Be well, be careful, be safe, be warm, hopefully, and we hope to see you in person and online with our tech crew that remembers how to do this so much better next Sunday. Thank you so much.
watch and wait while everything crumbles like sand falling through your hand. But I see the light in your eyes burning brightly, even though darkness creeps inside. There is hope, there's a way, if we move like waves together. Go back down, tell your truth, just break through your fear. You are the only one who can change yourself in the long run away, but don't hide. You are needed. I am needed. There is power deep within. Just reach and reach and reach and reach. There is hope. There's a way. If we move like waves together, don't back down. Tell your truth. Just break through your fear. Allah, Buddha, Moses, Krishna, Jesus. They have always taught us through the ages that hope and love surrounds us. It is the only way. They want us afraid of each other more each day, because fear keeps us weak and divides our hearts. There is hope, there's a way, if we move like waves together. Don't back down, tell your truth, just break through your fear. There is hope, there's a way, if we move like waves together. Don't back down, tell your truth, just break through